So they said it would be a small update. Well, okay. So in the BeamNG 0.33 update we got a bunch of new features, a new car, new graphic settings, new tuning parts and much more. Let's start with the new car. It's a Gavril MD-series, which is something in between the D-series and T-series. The design of the car is a matter of taste, especially the early versions, but some configurations look just great. There are 20 of them in total, which is enough. The interior has buttons you can interact with, which depends on the configuration, but overall they control the park and brake, switching between 4-wheel drive and 2-wheel drive, and locking differentials. You can also install the JATO booster on this vehicle, giving this beast insane speed, and it's really fun to smash into traffic with it. But the new car is not the main thing we will focus on. The T-series also got an update. Now the wheels on 2 axles can turn, that seemed to improve turning radius, but in fact it makes it bigger. But wind steering improves vehicle stability on the turn and also allows to distribute weight of the load better. Overall, this is already the third update for the T-series, so it's got only 3 new configurations, but that's enough. Now let's take a look at new body kits for the Hirochi SBR and Ibishu Pessima. The Ibishu Pessima got just one new configuration called Pro Tuned. It looks good, but I won't dive into the technical specs right now. But with the Hirochi SBR, I was really impressed. The car didn't just get new aerodynamic accessories, but the exterior materials look refreshed as well. It's like a mini-remaster, with the only difference from a full remaster being the interior. And look at how great this car looks. I've already made my own configuration, so let me know in the comments if you liked it. Now let's move on to the most important part. New graphic settings, better optimization for Vulcan render, and improved traffic optimization. First, the new graphic settings. Now for each parameter in the settings it shows you how much impact that setting has on your PC. It's convenient and nice, making it easier to find the perfect settings for yourself. There are also 2 new parameters, shader quality and ambient occlusion quality. Both can now be set to high settings, and mesh quality can be set to ultra settings. Will you notice a difference? Yes, you can see it. Everything started looking better, more realistic, and this even without the Vulcan render, which also got an optimization update. Now I can run the game on ultra settings at 40 frames per second in 4K. This is a big step forward. I will soon do some tests to see if it had a big impact on the virtual reality experience, and I hope to see improvements there as well. Now about traffic. I set all the traffic settings to auto, and when launched it, my frames per second dropped from 40 to 38. There are tons of cars in traffic and plenty are parked. I'm too lazy to count them all, but there are indeed a lot of them. Speaking of the teaser where devs mentioned that the number of cars and parking spots will change significantly, it's true. But I didn't have any parking problems actually. So how was this great optimization achieved? Let's peek inside the parked cars to find out. Yes, everything here is simplified, but in a smart way. It doesn't affect the gameplay experience, but it does significantly boost frames per second. Another nice update, now cars and traffic during replay recording in the game rarely flicker between 2 colors. Yes, it can still happen, but very rarely. And for me, as a content creator, this is a great news. Speaking of content creation, the worldeditor got an update too. Now we have new UI, making interaction with it much easier. I also noticed that the worldeditor now loads faster and works without frames per second drops even in Vulcan render, which is also great. With the update also added a new track editor, but I hardly use it, so I can't tell you what's new. What I know is that it's now easier to create roads, intersections with different lane counts, rotate them as needed, and so on. A few updates for the West Coast map. This map will be the main figure in the career mode, so we can see that the devs are working on it. In the update, some locations on the map were reworked, like this highway entrance, which I will probably crash into even more now. Another interesting update is on the drag racing strip. It's been slightly reworked, but the main thing is that now when you approach the strip, it interacts with you immediately. The countdown starts, the green light comes on, and at the end of the track your result is displayed on the board. This is a nice and useful update. The drift system has also been updated. Now drift detection in missions works better even at low speeds. And there are more drift missions. But I am not good at drifting, so I can't tell you much about that too. In conclusion, the update turned out to be awesome. It feels like we got more new features than iPhone users got in iOS 18. I really like this update because it not only adds a new car, but also reworks the game as a whole. And that's super cool. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe to see more interesting content about BeamNG. Thanks for watching and see you soon.